All right, you're back. This is post 2 of 7 for today. And I just wanted to speak about where I'm coming from. Where's my starting point on all this? Perhaps if I wanted to be a bit more provocative, I may have titled this, Where Do I Get Off? Which, I don't know, maybe some of you will be asking. But race relations in America, this is a hot topic. This is not a new topic. It's not a new topic for me, and I'm not patting self on back. I very recently realized that I had some gaps and some misconceptions. I've been working on that. So I just want to be honest about why I think there's still a problem, because I know I've seen and heard lately from a lot of people saying that this is a made-up problem, and if we stop talking about it, then it goes away. I know that's some people's perspective, white, black, or other. And also I've seen a lot of people who said that's a historic issue, right? Last post I talked about the Emancipation Proclamation, talked about June 19th, right? Juneteenth. That's in the past. There was an amendment to outlaw slavery. I mean, even it was 1964 when the Civil Rights Act was passed, and so it's not a problem since then. That's what I hear. The problem with that is I wasn't born until 1976, which is well after all of that. And my starting point, why I think there's a problem, or why I very much disagree with, and this is going to be offensive to some people, but this is what I have not only heard over time and in my life, but very recently, almost verbatim, that there is, quote, no problem in the white community, the problem's in the black community. Well, no, that's just not true. And I expect most people who will watch this are as white as I am. So I hope to challenge you on this, and I'm going to say some things, not about opinion, not about recent events, not about memes on the internet, not about a negative view of police. We'll talk about police in the last of these 7 posts. Not about a specific or strange or new way to read history. I'm just going to go through a litany right now of things that I have heard, that I have experienced in my life. Not a history book, not a documentary, my life. Let's take a look. So in my life, I heard that black people were genetically inferior and that science had proven it. Actually heard that. Now, as I go through these, some of these are going to be from various members of family or friends' family, or things I picked up at school, or things I picked up from church folk, and just all kind of sources. I distilled the list. I could go on. But literally, actually was told, black people are genetically inferior. False. Lie. Hate. I was taught, I heard that black skin was a curse from God. Therefore, black people are cursed. I heard a number of times in my life, I was going to say the word, but I'm pretty sure this would get my video banned. So, the N-word, uttered by family, by friends, by people I knew and trusted and respected, describing other people in public, and oftentimes with the adjective stupid in front of it. Stupid N-word directed at people in public. Now, never one-on-one, of course. Always under the breath, always about others. I heard that the black students that were bused into my school, which was in my neighborhood, as a matter of fact, just up the street from my house where I grew up, I heard that the black students that were bused into my school brought the school down. Like, we could have had a better school. This is stuff I heard in my childhood. I heard that it was a shame that I had to go to later grades across town in unsafe neighborhoods, quote, just to help the black people. I should mention, with these 2 statements about school, I think I had an excellent overall school experience in the public school system growing up in Gallatin, Tennessee. But these are things I heard. I actually have seen in my lifetime men in Klan robes and hoods handing out, I was going to say literature, that seems a waste of that term, pamphlets. I've seen that. my eyes, not just textbooks. I was offered an invitation and tried to be handed an application to the Ku Klux Klan when I was in high school. That's, you know, in the early 90s. Now, I don't actually know if this was some guy just trying to cause trouble or if they were real. And I've asked myself that since that time, and I don't know which would be worse. But I saw that. I heard that. I heard that it might not be so bad if I dated an Asian girl who was at school that I had expressed some interest in, because she was, and again, this is direct quote, almost white. I was told by more than one person when I decided to enlist in the U.S. Marines that I should not come home with a wife that wasn't white. Now, that's late 70s, 80s, early 90s. It's just a historical problem. I'll do you one more. Let's bring it into the 2000s, a little closer to home. I lost friends, literally, and was told by more than one person that I was ignoring not only Bible, but good common sense when I agreed to officiate a mixed race wedding. That's in the 2000s, folks. So, when I hear people say there's no problem in the white community, or this is a historical problem, this is in the past, if we just stop talking about it, no, I'm sorry, that's a load of garbage. This is a real and present problem, and it is in the hearts and minds of otherwise good and lovely people. And it is something, I mean, again, this is a short list of things that I heard, that were told or taught or caught by me in my childhood, and this seeps in. Don't tell me there's not a problem. Yes, there's a problem, and yes, we should talk about it, and yes, we should confess and admit that at times we have been influenced by, if not part of, the problem. I'll say that's true for me. And yes, I have great sympathy for I've been told by folks who are older than me, well, I grew up in a different time. Yes, you did. And you're not to blame for that, but you are responsible, just like I'm responsible, just like we're all responsible for where we are now and what choices we make. And so God help us to be honest and to move forward in a righteous and a good way, because all this stuff that I read, and there is much more. I could tell you about people I've seen in the last month who wouldn't go through a checkout line at a store in my town, seemingly because the cashier was black. I couldn't believe it. Tried to question to make sure I wasn't seeing what I was seeing, and it was prevented. But look, my wife and I, we decided these things that I heard, that I was taught, that I picked up, that it's not going to be true for our kids. And I hope you make a similar decision.